What's up, my devil? Sensei Tutum here with another video for you. So, wanted to do a little fun exercise this week as the series is focusing on trading, right? Not just, identifying a chart, talking about the Elliott Wave structures and things like that. We want to actually talk about trading the markets. And I say markets, crypto, traditionals, commodities, stonks, whatever, you name it. We're looking at it. So today it's mostly crypto, but we do have one stonk in here. So basically what I did is I asked members for a list of, hey guys, just throw me a random chart name that you're looking at a trade for. I didn't ask for any analysis, but of course you're going to get some. But I didn't want to really look at it because what I wanted to do is just take 4 randoms, right? And if they're closer to a trade, the better. Try to identify, do we see anything setting up on the horizon? If we do, what is that thing? Trade by thing. What is it that we see that's trading up as a tradable event? And maybe write up a little plan for it, revisit in a few weeks and see how we might have done. Of course, I don't know if there's going to be anything imminent shown tonight, but just right off the bat, looking at these, I can see some promising things. So what we're going to do is very quickly and briefly apply all of the pillars of the Trade Devil's theory, be it pitchforks, algos, Elliott Wave, support and resistance levels, and see what we can see. So let's get into it. I picked ETH. I did that one myself, and then we got VeChain, we've got Lend token. I hope that's the right chart. And we've got Kraft Heinz Company. And you guys are thinking, Kraft, that's boring. Stonks. Hey man, Berkshire Hathaway, the legend Warren Buffett is the primary stockholder in this. So let's actually go ahead and start there because it does look quite promising. I like this. Let's go ahead and expand this. We're only on the 4-hour look, but essentially this is a heavily depressed chart. I think they got downgraded. I don't really follow too close, but they got downgraded to junk bond status last year, maybe a couple years ago. And they've pretty much got a ton of debt. I think that's their issue. It's, this is the environment to hold debt, I would imagine, other than, the fact that potentially earnings are down. Though I feel like you're still buying ketchup, right? I mean, it's in my fridge. Or, whether it be whatever from Kraft you're buying, Kraft is all over American supermarkets. I feel like probably not so much around the world, but they're all over here. So they're, well known. And of course, they say just because a company doesn't mean it's good stock to own, but it's super depressed. We have definite interest of big money in this stock, right? And I think that there's always been, this has always been part of hedge fund portfolio 101. Basically, a lot of big names always own this, right? Whether it be more or less at the given moment, irrelevant to this trade, but it's worth looking at and, potentially worth owning for a long period of time. Has it been worth owning for the last few years? But as we can see, we have had quite a reaction off this low. We got our VPVR shown here, and we are holding under the point of control. So that is very worth noting. And, the guys kind of get on me, or not get on me, but I can tell they get annoyed by the fact that I'm sort of picky, and especially in the fact that I really like trades that are in the direction of the trend. And I think that we can see that we've established a downtrend line, right? But, this is just basic trend line draw. However you want to do it exact, but try to get as many touches as you can. We have clearly broken out of the downturn trend line. Of course, we came back down, tested it again, and then we bounced once more. And found obviously resistance in the area of the previous pivot bounce. But we have what looks to be potentially a motive structure off this low after breaking a downturn trend line in a depressed asset. This is where you could potentially get a nice big 3 wave, even just a C, right? Which would be a 1-to-1 relative to this for a C expectation, 1618 for a 3, right? And I do think that we have a pretty good motive here. We have clear swings without overlap, and it looks to me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. I would say pretty clear to me, pretty fairly easy motive off the bottom. And then put that there. And then we have what looks to be a rip off of it. Now we have this big death wick, but it doesn't overlap this here. So it looks, 5 swing move, no overlap, not much to think about. I would say that this is a motive wave. Now that makes this a 1 or an A. That means it should be followed by a 3 or a C. Now, you might think that the best trade here is to short, and it could very well be. It's shorting, when the natural state of the markets, even though this one's been down for quite some time, is up. It's hard to go into a larger degree short trade and expect to get high probability outcomes as far as what we expect with Elliott. But if we are saying this is a motive wave, we'll just do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take this down. Then that would mean that this is a 2 or a B. And this could still be, so let's see, how did we retrace here? So we got to the 50, 50 pullback. This looks fairly motive. Get rid of this volume profile. This looks fairly motive. So if that is in fact motive, even though we have come down and really gotten deep. So anytime you break the 786 significantly, although it's just 1 4-hour close, it's a lot of the time you're going to probably make a new low relative to the previous swing. But here, I would say it could potentially be that this would be an A, B with a C to come. And that we have potentially already started, it looks like. 3, 3, maybe call it 5. Could even be, if you want to call it a zigzag, because it doesn't create a low. I'm not concerned. Again, brief overview look. I see 3 swings here, and we've started going the other direction. So it does look like we are potentially still in this corrective. So I would say forecast for this. What we see here just off based on that is 1, 2, 3 potential trades, right? If we are putting in a potential C, and which ones are better than the others? Well, I would say quality of trade. So again, this is potential trade 1, and then potential trade 2 comes down to make this relative A, if that's an A, B, C, and then the third one would be this move relative to this. And which are the quality of trades? I would say they're all 3s or C's, so they could all set up being fairly nice. With the depth of this wave, I would say that this one probably, this long for this C potentially is the lowest probability, but we've already made that sick pivot. I do want to get down just on the 1 hour and check that out briefly. Let's see. Yeah, I could be putting it. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice pivot. So this feels good too. But I guess quality of trades, I would have to go lowest, second lowest, just because it's against this overall trend. Although it feels nice because it feels nicely depressed, which to me gives a lot of potential. And then this would be probably the best short trade to there. And let's just look at that a little bit better. So we've already projected from here, assuming that this is a B wave with a truncation of some sort, whether it be running flat, truncation, zigzag, don't care. 3 swings. So 1, 2, 1 projects from there to here. If you get a nice pullback on that, you could trade for the 3C within there. That would be pretty nice, especially considering this context. So that would be the trade within here. Since we've already missed this low, wait for this to pull back, hope for, you know, your higher probability area, but you know how stonks are. You don't always get that. Maybe 382. You'll have to do the work there yourself, but let's draw it out. Let's just say it's in. I'm not calling that at all. Something like this. So yeah, this would be a nice setup here, and then you could flip. You know, typically if you're trading this degree, you'd want to be out for the top of the 3, wait for the 5, get in short there when you show signs of weakness, looking on divergence here, and then from there you're gonna look for a 1-to-1 off of this. I wouldn't want to get below this pivot, and it looks like we wouldn't there. Using support and resistance, obviously, very important. These prior pivots always come back to show themselves relevant in the markets. So we've got that one just above the 1-to-1 there. And then, of course, you're going to want to draw your channel wherever it does end, and your pitchfork, so that you can start to think about taking profits when you start hitting these markers within here. The median is usually a decent spot to find resistance, maybe take some off the table, wait for a retrace, add back, get down. So I could see, again, potentially 3 trades here. And let's just write this in real quick. Three potential trades. Long, 3 of red micro C, upside, short end of red micro C, targets 1-to-1. Let's do before I can hit okay, we gotta actually give some reference here. Orange minuet. Spelled that wrong, don't care. Minuet A. Okay. And then short at end, long at end of orange minuet C. So, all right. Everybody still with me? We got 3 potential trades setting up, and they're all, so it's just so happens that we have 3 C's potential, three C's, one right after another, because this one finishes here, this one finishes here, and this one finishes here. This is actually quite an intriguing chart that could pay quite nicely. I want to keep an eye on this one, so I'm going to come back and check it. No reason to set alerts yet, just because it's coming down and extended. It came up to here and is dropping in extended hours. I don't have this chart set up for the proper color, so shield your eyes. But that'd be pretty nice. And we don't need this on the chart now, but we'll just get rid of that. Okay, so 3 potential trades setting up here. I'd say fairly immediately, along off this retrace, quite nice. This would be what I would call high quality. That's a very high quality trade, especially because we're with this trend that's established here, and we've got this nice move off the low. High quality trade coming up on that retracement. Potential, you know, it's just a regular trade. All right, we got 3 more to go, so I need to speed up. All right, Ethereum. This was my choice. We've clearly been in an uptrend since back here in March. I wouldn't say that we have a clear impulse by any means. It does look like we had an impulsive move off of the high. I would say clear impulsive move off of the high, because it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing move. And then what we've had out of it since. And of course, you can always end up being wrong, right? You can always end up being wrong that this is somehow zigzag, but this seems quite impulsive. No overlap, very important there. and just 5 dominant swings. And of course, we have yet to create a new high relative to this. I would say, should that happen, it'd be quite interesting, because this is not a 3-wave move. So, you know, we are putting in what is in effect a sideways, but it would be, if it were to come down, a zigzag. Could this be a C wave? Absolutely could. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can make a case easily for 7 swings here. 3, 3, 5. So this could be a finished flat there, right? So we don't want to spend a bunch of time figuring out the count, but we want to see what stands out, what slaps us in the face. This one's not super obvious, but what we do see is that this is not an obvious impulse off this low, right? And the slope of this move has been quite you know, long and drawn on compared to this, right? It's on pace, it's on par with this, and actually fairly similar look to this wave, right? But then we got this long sideways out of that, which, you know, we could be going into, but we haven't gotten. No new low relative here. Could be easily could be truncated zigzag, right? What do we expect with a truncation? Oops. What do we expect with the truncation? To swiftly retrace the length of the truncation, which we didn't do here. So not super high quality in that regard. So at this moment, right now, we're going to say uncertain on the Elliott front, right? And we have a lot of overlapping moves here. Motive, overlap, clear motives, clear correctives, but there's overlap and not, you know, so what is the context? How do we put that all together? It's not super clear. So generally that is a corrective pattern, right? When you see that, of course, again, you have to know the market that you're in. We had the same thing over here. Not really as clear motives on the way up, but this all looks, you know, it's not very pretty. So it's kind of doing what it did before, right? Let's zoom out to check our oscillators. So we haven't created a new high relative here. Oh, we've had quite a bit of divergence right there, didn't we? So we have quite a bit of divergence here. I'd like to do that with a yellow line. Quite a bit of divergence there, or, you know, using these pivots. Higher high, lower high, strong divergence, and we've already started to see a reaction off of that. And of course, if we check this trend line here, this grind line, those are always kind of weak signs when you get a grind line like that, whether it be to the downside or up. Structure here. So we're just looking at geometry here. Easily draw a pitchfork from this swing to, I would say, here, even though it's not technically the low. That puts our trigger line way out here, so won't have obvious trigger line short. I love this, quite honestly. And as many of the members know, I don't really use a lot of modifiers, almost never on my pitchforks. Okay, so zooming in even further though, we did have what I would say was sort of the false breakout, right? Because we were testing this horizontal resistance level and we broke out and then we're right back in. So usually that's a bearish sign. When you're testing the same a horizontal level and then you're making, you know, whether depending on the direction, higher lows or lower highs, depending on the direction of the market. Since we're going up, it's higher lows, and then you're testing a horizontal level. Often that's good for a breakout. We talked about the Bitcoin trading for the FIMX trades, but when you do false breakout, that's not usually a good sign. we're still quite internal here, but to me it's looking like that we're probably due at least for a break to here, just based on feel of the market. This could use a lot more time spent. Now remember the Pitchfork trading principles that 80% of the time that this pivot holds, you would meet this median. 80% of the times you would expect to meet this median. We've yet to meet that median. Typically, if you do not meet that median, you will then expect to retrace at least this distance. Again, there's that 20% where this pivot holds and you don't meet it, right? So, you know, we're not looking good motive. We're not looking great pitchfork wise. It feels like it needs to come down. And, you know, I took all my analysis off. This is my main chart. I just deleted all the analysis. Spoiler alert, I have been expecting another push down. And, you know, looking at it with fresh eyes here, I'd say nothing really changes. I just can't give you, without spending a lot more time on these with this fresh look. Can't give you pretty charts and things like that, but feel the market. I'm expecting another down to at least break to here. And to be honest, I'd like to break this level again and then come down to 1-to-1's not gonna. Would that do it for us? Oh yeah, that would do it. That'd be great. I'd love to come down and then just test this low again before we can go off. So immediate trade, no. Break of this trend line results in a short to this trend line. Simple as that. That's your geometry. So let's change the color on this. Okay, so our trade on this one, I'm sure I don't have any viewers left. If I ever had any to start, these videos don't get a lot of views, so I don't care. I'm just doing what I want. So trade will be short of green, or break of green trend line equals short to white trend line. Break of white trend line equals short to this could really offer some resistance here, couldn't it? So we'll say red 1, red 2, short 2, red 1, PT1, then red 2 for PT2. Profit take 1, profit take 2. All right, so we will leave it at that, and then I would say it's a long. Long out of red 2 if trend is tired or proper oversold buy conditions are met. Meaning, did we meet, say, for instance, if we were to meet this median at a oversold on the slow stotch, if we were just to have a very oversold RSI on the at this level with and then say print a like a 1 hour close tweezer bottom, something like that, you know, whatever you use, but the for really, it's not the longs that we're focused on here. It'd probably be these shorts, and that sucks, but it's kind of just what I see. You know, I always want to long the cryptos. How long is this video? Ooh, 25 minutes. You know what? Let's go ahead and do lend, just because it's so obvious. We don't have a lot of information here, as far as this has only been trading since back here in May. But what we do have is a clearly impulsive looking move off this low, impulsive move off the high. So what's that set us up for? That sets us up to put in almost like the craft trade, right? So this is an A or 1. This is an A or 1. So we're putting in a B or 2, and then we can short for the 3C and then long for the 3C. So I mean, this is just as cut and dry as it gets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which if we went down to 1 hour, that'd be even clearer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Looks like a good motive to me. Let's see. So let's say short at signs of completion for red B2. Okay, so we will just do this. Red B2. So you're looking for, again, as I say every week, you know, you're going to look for exhaustion to the upside. You're going to look for the high probability area, which is the 50 to the 618 for a B to 2. You're going to look for relevant horizontal resistances, which you don't have a ton. I mean, this is just, there's not much trading data here. This area here seems relevant, which we've already wicked on, right? But I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Right there. Oops. Something like that. Yeah, so those are the things you can look for, but is there any more significant pivots? I mean, nothing that stands out. You do have this high volume node right at the 618. I'd say go with that. It's got a few pivots on it. So high volume node here, you know, pivot in the area, pivot there, pivot here, resistance and a pop through there. So seems relatively, oh, that high volume, that's not the 618. I was looking at this one before. So that one is quite deep, but that's another one. This one here, that high volume node, we have this high area of this high, this support here, found support in that area here. So could find something there, but again, you're going to want to look for like a clear 3-wave move that's showing signs of exhaustion, that's not looking obviously motive or impulsive out of this, and then you'll take the short down to the red C at that point, and then long at signs of completion of red C. So we're going to assume the 618. And that's going to give us almost the 618 here. So 618 golden corner play, potentially, right? These are very far looking, so we don't know how they're going to end up, but we'll be looking for the ideas of this, and we'll come back, visit that. And do I really want to spend the time here on VeChain? So, I mean, it's kind of ugly, but we do have the break of the downturn trend line. We have a break of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swings off the low there. It's not beautiful. sure doesn't slap you in the face, right? Right to the golden corner pocket, or I guess platinum corner pocket, as Sam would call it. Throw the 707 on there, but just barely breaks. Make sure we have these pivots right. And that, you know, that does obviously happen, where they get you stopped and then they turn it around. This does look like an fairly impulsive move off the low here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like.
I noticed the lights were on and I thought you might be home. I wasn't sure.
So I have to get down here in the 1 hour. Looks a lot. Looks a lot like ETH. This looks more through-wave, doesn't it? 3. I mean, this could be a flat getting put in. This still 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This still looks like an impulse. Quite a bit of time has gone by already. Almost 1618. If it's still corrective and it goes down again, that'd be bad for a long. Just because it's so much longer already, or it's already quite a bit longer than the proposed motive structure. So 3, 3. I don't know how you would figure this wick out. Five minutes, I don't know how to figure it out. This is the shitcoin. This is the shitcoin dilemmas, right? Throw the wick out. Fuck that thing. Clear 3-wave now, though. Look at that. Super clear 3. And that was into 50 there. Not quite to the 618. Get rid of this. I don't see anything obvious setting up here, man. This doesn't look great. I don't even want to make a prediction. It's ugly. Yeah. So I'm not worried about V right now. So sorry about that one. But we've got some potential trades, if anybody stuck with me on these other charts. This craft one, three C's in a row coming up. Now this is, so, you know, I'm sure that I have 0 viewers at this point, but if you do, this is sort of what you do to find a chart that you can like trade for a while, looking at this craft chart, right? Or any of the other charts where we found multiple potential setups. Maybe you miss 1 or even 2 of these, but if you catch one really nice 3 on a 6, 7, 8 to 1 risk to reward, you know, you can make your month on one of these trades. So you have a chart that you want to keep an eye on. And, you know, until I asked randomly the members, Ethan, thanks for sharing this one, man. I'm going to keep my eye on this craft, and feel free to post updates and at me just in case I forget to keep an eye on it. So, all right, guys, really long video this week, but a little fun potential exercise where we just look at random charts, see if we can identify trades coming up, and we'll check back in a while and see how we did. All right, guys, toot out.